Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Journey to Greatness. Day 32 of 365 with David McDonald, the GOAT. Oh, shoot. All right. Hmm. All right. Welcome. And we're going to begin with our meditation routine. So I will see you all on the other side. All right, everybody, welcome back. So we just finished our meditation routine, and now we're going to get into our journaling routine. I will see you all on the other side. All right, my friends, welcome back. So we just finished our journaling routine, and now we're going to get into our reading routine. I will see you all on the other side. Oh, I'm gonna do one thing. Mm. Oh, this is a healing book, man. Mm. That's funny. All right. So we just finished our reading routine here. Welcome back. The Law of Divine Compensation is the book that we're currently reading. And oh, there it is. We just finished chapter 2. So yesterday, the book, we spent time defining what the actual law of divine compensation meant, and what it is. And essentially, it's the law that if you live your life from a love standpoint or deeply rooted in love, loving of yourself and loving of others unconditionally, then you will have an abundance of miracles blessed upon you. And that's mainly because everything in this world is an extension of love, is an extension of God. And because we all are extensions of God, therefore we have this power within us that allows us to be perfect in the universe, an infinite amount of space, an infinite amount of power, an infinite amount of money for those who think numerically, an infinite amount of blessings is here to help us on our journey and continuously reroute us to a successful whatever it is that we wish to have. Um, Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until we die. So there's no limit. It's pretty much like, imagine walking into a bank vault. You're walking in and there is so much money there, and you always have access. And when you can go in there anytime you want, pull something out, pull money out, no problem. Except more powerful than that, right? It's a lot more powerful than that. Like any muscle, faith grows strong when used and weak when unused. When faith and love and its miraculous authority becomes a thought form that guides our thinking, it turns into an extraordinary power that transforms our lives. It is not enough that spiritual power exists. We must have faith that it exists in order to use it on our behalf. Faith affects our psychological and emotional state, which greatly influences how we experience what is happening in our physical lives. But faith isn't blind, it's visionary. Having faith in the positive outcome doesn't mean that you're denying a problem or ignoring obstacles. It simply means you're affirming a solution. So the thing is in our physical state, right? For you to set a goal out for yourself, and again, this just goes back to the idea that you have to be careful who you talk to, because people can be very negative. If people can't see it for themselves, there's a strong chance they can't see it for you. So they're going to put and shower you gracefully in all of their doubt and all their negativity. So, but the thing to always remember here as a baseline default fact is that your imagination and the amount of greatness that's within you, once you tap into it and once you start living by this love philosophy, nothing materially, no one in this world can tell you anything. And when I say that, I mean can tell you whether or not you can do something or whether or not you can't do something. And it does not matter what it is or how debilitating your situation may be or whatever it may be. The power that is within you, the imagination, the infinite space, God, everything that has to do with that is bigger than everything you're currently experiencing right now. And the cool part about it is that you have that power and you have the ability to change everything that's around you, everything that's happening around you, no matter how big the odds. And that's not luck. I'm saying that that's a fact. But if you see your current economic hardship, also for anybody who's joining us for the first time, this book is circling ideology. It's the compensation, the law of divine compensation. So it's talking about money. So we're going to focus on the money part of it a lot more. And I like that because I don't only talk about it usually. I talk about the spiritual side more. But this is good that, I think it's good to focus on the money part also. But if you see your economic hardship as what it at at what it really is, a temporary deviation from love's perfection, happening within the mortal realm, but in ultimate reality not happening at all, because only love is real, then your vision works a miracle. It frees your energy, thoughts, and emotions, opening your mind to new possibilities. For that is what a miracle is, a shift in thinking, which then shifts your experience. This shift in perception, your willingness to look beyond appearances, enables you to invoke a different set of probabilities going forward. It enables you to see beyond what's happening to what could be happening, thus creating the space for something new. And that's why they say you should never, S on people. I was working and pretty much like treat people bad. You never know who you're talking to. I don't care how many I don't care how many houses you've sold. I don't care how long you've been in the industry. I don't care how long you've been doing your thing that you've been doing. None of that matters to me. If if I say that I'm gonna be the best at this, or best at this, or best at that, or best at this, doesn't matter. If you say you're gonna be best at this, but the only thing that matters is that you can do it and that the whole universe is behind you, helping you to do it. Just as that person has done it, you can also do it too. And that's very, very powerful. The biggest thing is overcoming the fear in your mind of thinking, well, that's too big. If you can't assume the feeling of what that futuristic reality right now is, even though when you look around and your senses say, well, you don't have any of that stuff, you're not there. You don't have a jet, you don't have a car, you don't have a multi-million-dollar house, you don't have properties in Barbados, you don't have all that. Throw it to the side. If you can emotionally feel and absorb the feeling of you being in that futuristic state right now today, despite what your reality is telling you, you're working a miracle for yourself. So if you're having economic hard times right now, don't focus on that. That's not real. That is not real. You're experiencing it. Yes, I get it. But you got to understand that life of taking responsibility for where you are at one point or another, either you just live life and you have no guided direction, self-guided direction, so therefore you're experiencing what you're experiencing, or on the flip side, you've thought negative in the past, or pause. You've thought in a way that has brought, not negative, I won't put that connotation on it. You've thought in a way where now you're experiencing what you have thought in the past. So everything that happens to you in terms of your reality and where you currently are is the manifestation of, previous thought or thinking or not, or lack thereof. And I know that becomes a sticky situation because, like the book said in the beginning, what about those who are they have like a disability or something like that, right? I'm gonna have to leave that to God to answer because I haven't figured that one out yet. But the book says, what about the starving children in Africa, right? And then Marianne Williamson says, it's not that the children that are starving in Africa, right, are not aligned with this miracle course or this energy or this power, don't have this greatness within them. It's because the collective consciousness is not operating as a love unit, which therefore is allowing, or which therefore is helping to eradicate poverty, deep poverty in other countries. Because if we were to put all of our money together and invest it or put it down to help people, and their well-being in other places as a unit or as a nation or as, millions of people all over the world, we would help eradicate deep poverty. And so I think that idea also stems to another response. And it may come in this book, it may not, but I'm not sure. But if that is not indeed the case, I do believe we can heal ourselves. And that's going to be more literature and more things to learn down the road. I do believe that we can defeat certain quote unquote disabilities and operate at a really high function. I do believe that everything is a blessing. And so everything that happens to you and everything that you experience is also a blessing. But if you can get to a point, and it doesn't matter who you are, frankly, like I said before, to imagine and see yourself bigger than what your reality is currently seeing or, experiencing or going through. Experiencing, frankly, whatever your reality that you are experiencing right now, then you will transcend above the physical space. The Bible mentions, blessed are those who have faith and cannot see, means empowered are those who remember who they are, even when the circumstances would tempt them to believe otherwise. And this is, I think this goes back to the idea of don't let money define you. I was talking to an agent the other day that I was involved with a transaction with, and she was very, very upset. And it's really funny. When agents get upset, this has probably happened to me 3 times. The first thing they want to do is say, I've done more business than you. I've done this, or I've been in the industry longer. Well, what's funny is when I was just getting in the industry, obviously I'm learning, I didn't have as many clients as that and the other. It would make sense. And so now that I'm doing, that I've helped more families this year, when they go to look at those numbers, they're like, oh, well, yeah, I guess I can't really say that. So then just most recently, I had an agent say, well, I've been in the industry longer than you, so that means I'm busier than you. And I don't care pause 1 second while I digest that feeling and throw it out. I don't care. I do not care. None of that matters to me. But you have to stay in line. You got to be respectful because you don't know what's going on up in my brain. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what I'm manifesting. You don't know what I'm about to do. And for that, it makes sense. Like you can't allow me as the receiver. First off, I can't allow somebody else's disposition to put me down or put me in a place where therefore I'm supposed to feel subordinate to them. And then on the flip side, you don't want to be that person who is defined, because what if all of your business was taken away from you? Then what would you do? How would you act? How would you perform? What would your attitude be like? Right? If everything was taken away. So I feel like it'd be crap, but I not for me, but maybe for them. But at the end of the day, I don't want to judge. So at the end of I think overall, in summary of that, I try to remain as neutral as possible. In summary of that, don't let money define who you are, right? Even when your bank account's running low, still walk with that confidence and still know that you are a millionaire. And when you do that and you can assume that feeling and it's right, or you're in a situation that's better, it doesn't have to be a millionaire, right? Just the easy default. But 100,000, 200, 20,000 in the bank, whatever that number is for you. And then just do it in stages and graduate yourself, promote yourself all throughout it, because you're going to make it. I promise you'll make it. I promise you'll make it. And you'll learn so much along the way. But you got to just continue to believe in yourself. Check this out. It's easy to have faith. It's easy enough to have faith in God's infinite abundance when you have millions of dollars sitting in your bank account. But what's important to remember is that everything seen begins in the place that was first unseen. So the power to see yourself and feel and be in a reality in your head that's different from what you're actually experiencing is the most powerful thing of all. And then living like that and carrying out like that. When a pilot cannot see the horizon because of low visibility, he or she doesn't assume that the horizon has disappeared, right? At the time of low visibility, the pilot flies on instruments that can actually gauge a situation more clearly than he can. Faith is like flying on instruments. It's acting on the assumption that just because you can't see a possibility at that moment doesn't mean that it's not there. So the moment that you say to yourself, This is not going to work. Oh my gosh, I'm a failure. Oh, this is not. You have taken the entire universe and you've shut the door on it and you put a padlock on it. And now it's only you and what's going on in this little head right here. And so I would personally rather have a reality where I have a universe of abundance and blessings that can pour into me, stuff I can't even think about. And it will come. It always comes. Faith and fear. So it's gonna now we're getting into like what does it look like? So this is a good self-reflection tool or words for self-reflection. How are you living your life, right? Faith and love. I lack a job as the world defines it, but my divine function is established by God. I'm here to love and be loved, and that is what establishes my worth. No worldly rejection establishes my value in the universe, and no material lack diminishes my fullness in God. I atone for my errors and forgive others for theirs. That's actually a big one. And forgive others for theirs. I call that the art of forgiveness. It's easy to cast people out. It's easy to curse people and say, oh, well, I'm not rocking with you because you hurt me, right? That's easy. That's really easy to do. But to say, I love you and I forgive you, and then decide what the dynamic of that relationship's going to be. Talk it out a little bit. They may not have to be in your circle anymore. They may not have to be a close or dear friend to you anymore. But at least having that conversation and practicing the art of forgiveness is a really powerful thing. Yesterday, I was at one of my clients' house, now one of my really good friends' house, right? Yesterday, we were there, and they had some friends come over, and one of the gentlemen was telling me that forgiveness is, so he used to do kung fu, and so when we got on the conversation of the journey to greatness, he was like, oh, that's interesting, I didn't know people still meditated, right? And but he told me that this is a really interesting concept, and I like it a lot. It's still kind of growing on me, but I like it a lot. There was truth in it, right? So if somebody takes something from you, and like somebody steals your car was one of the examples yesterday. Somebody steals, your car. You have a couple ways that you can respond. First thing you have to realize though is that you cannot do anything about it except for call the cops, report it, right? But personally, other than that, you can't do anything about it. So, do you forgive that person or do you not forgive that person? Well, what the gentleman was saying yesterday is, um, if the person was stealing the car to take their kid to the emergency room because they didn't have a car or their car was broken down, so they're using it to save their kid's life, right? They were stealing the car for a good reason overall, all in all. So what you would do is obviously in that case the cops would find the car at the hospital more than likely, and then or the person would return it back to you, hopefully, right? If that was the only purpose, at some time you would have a conversation with them either at the hospital, at your house, or at a store or wherever, and ask them why did they do it, and then they would explain to you why they did it, and then within you, your moral compass, however that's gauged, you might come to a place where you're like, okay, I forgive you, and you let it go, right? Situation one. Situation two is that's just who they are. So they jacked your car. They jacked your car. They stole your car. No, they stole your car, and they stole it to steal whatever was in it. Joyride, whatever it may be. That's just who they are. So what he was suggesting in that moment or that instant, you don't have to forgive them, but you don't have to not forgive them. You just have to be, because there is nothing that you can do about it. So instead of assuming the feeling of, like, my approach would be, I still love you, I forgive you. Some people look at that as being naive or stupid or blah, 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 blah. But this book clearly defines, The law of divine compensation is that pretty much if you love and you love no matter what's happening around you, if you love unconditionally and you stem everything you do from a place of love, then you will be abundantly blessed with compensation, with whatever it is. You know, in the book, Marianne Williamson says that she threw a play $10,000 down the drain, wasn't successful, but she approached the situation as, I can shoulder this. This is not a big deal to me. I will make this money back. And she tenfold, or in time made the money back. So the summary of the forgiveness, the art of forgiveness, which was described, that's the art of forgiveness for me. It's forgiving someone who has hurt you, and not, pretty much casting them away, and then redefining whatever that looks like for you in terms of the relationship. But that other part of it is, if somebody does something bad to you, not saying I forgive you and not saying I don't forgive you, and just being, you don't assume that feeling, and then you can focus on just getting your car back. And that's powerful. So I like that. That was a good conversation yesterday. But um so that's the faith in love, right? Those are the ideas. I lack a job as the world defines it, but my divine function is established by God. So, yeah, you may not have a job, but that is not your reality. That is not who you are. And then, boom, something happens miraculously. Now, faith and fear. This is where most people tend to spend a lot of their time. I'm complete failure. I'm too old to get another job. I hear that all the time. I'm just too old, and I'm not old yet, whatever that means. But um, I don't know if I will pause. I will never have that perspective. I am a complete failure. I am too old to get another job. They're only hiring younger people. I hear that very often. The economy won't be picking up for years. I'm waiting for house rates to go down. It's all great. I mean, no judgment. The economy won't be picking up for years. All the jobs are taken. The system is rigged. I totally screwed up. I totally screwed up by so and so. I'll never get these bills paid. I'll probably lose my house. I give up. It's no use, right? All of these things. It's too late. I blew it. Damn those Democrats. Damn those Republicans. Damn the corporations. Damn the unions. Damn the rich. Damn the poor. Thoughts in the service of fear deactivate the law of divine compensation. Why? Because they are unloving. They are unloving. They are attack thoughts, and miracles flow only through the auspicious, I think that's the word, of loving thought. I think that's how you say it. It is love and love alone that gives us power to transcend to the lower thought forms and appearances of the mortal world. Only love of ourself and others give us divine authority to reset the trajectories by which our life unfolds. And that is the way that the universe operates. Okay, one more page and we are complete for today. If you remember that you are a spiritual being, that God alone is the source of your power, and that the universe is inherently designed to provide for you needs, then you are thinking in a miracle-minded way. You are exercising dominion over the mortal plane by remembering that you are not of it. So your reality does not define you. Your reality is an illusion. It's a screen. It's a screen. Everything happening on that screen is being projected by you and your thoughts, and it starts somewhere. So when you start that somewhere, you want to change that. You want to change that Hollywood film on your screen that you see, that drama. When you see that negative or that gruesome film or that horror film, and you want to see a screen of abundance and happiness and triumphantness and all of these other positive words describing your reality, then you have to change the components of what's projecting onto that screen. Okay, so Why? Because there is a realm of infinite creativity that exists beyond the mortal mind, yet within the mind of God. This is not a fantasy, but rather a spiritual reality of the universe. If you choose not to believe this, that's your choice. If you choose to believe it, that's your miracle. So, man, this book is really good. Um, that conversation when people say, "Oh, I just got lucky. I just happened to be sitting next to someone who blah 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 blah." That's not luck. That's not luck. That's divine calling. That's divine connectedness. Like seriously. Okay, so your best you ever. Passage for December 2nd. Wisdom in a donut shop. I actually wrote an article on this on LinkedIn, or an article like this. It's called I think it's like positively. I think it's called positively. What is it? Um, Gently reminded to reflect from a bag of Cooler Ranch Doritos. If you guys haven't checked it, you should go. You should go. You should go read it. It's actually, I think it's a pretty good piece of literature that I've written. It's short and sweet, but it's really interesting, explaining how a bag of Doritos reminded me to put notes around or have flashcards around to remind me of how great I am or the things I want to achieve. It's a good one. Just go to my LinkedIn. So wisdom in a donut shop. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalms 23:5. Many years ago, this rhyme was posted on the wall of a small donut shop. As you travel through life, brother, whatever be your goal, keep your eye upon the donut and not upon the hole. Interesting. These simple words remind us of our profound truth. We should spend more time looking at things we have, not worrying about the things we don't have. I like it. When you think about it, you got more blessings than you can count. So make it a habit to thank God for the gifts He's given you, not for the gifts you wish He had given you. The essence of optimism is that it takes no account of the presence, but it is a source of inspiration, of vitality, and of hope. Where others have resigned, it enables a man to hold his head high, to claim the future for himself and not abandon to his enemy. Dietrich Bonhoeffer. A lesson for the heart and soul. Today and every day, it's time to count your blessings and to think optimistically about your future. I like it. Pretty self-explanatory. Thank you, everybody, joining me for day 32 of 365 with David McDonald, the GOAT. Journey to Greatness. I think I like Journey to Greatness better than Journey of Greatness. I'm trying, 365 days of Journey to Greatness is kind of ingrained in my mind. So I'm just trying to find some clarity as to which one I'm going to use. But nonetheless, what's today, Sunday? Happy Sunday, everybody. Make today the best day of your life. Enjoy some football, maybe. And enjoy the family, enjoy church, enjoy whatever you're doing today. And I will see you all tomorrow at 5. Peace.